What is going on? Welcome to the Second of Strength podcast, wherever you are. I hope you're doing great. As always, thank you for spending your valuable seconds with me. I had an experience a couple weeks ago. I was at an event, and within about 45 minutes, something came up that I've just been thinking a lot about. And so first, I was riding up an escalator, I guess, and coming down the other side was a guy named LaVar Ball. And if you are a basketball fan, you know that he is the father of LaMelo and I don't know, there's the Ball brothers, right? And so as he's coming down the escalator and I'm going up, I gave him a fist bump and said hi, and we went on our merry way. Now, he is famous for lots of things with his boys, but one of those is that he was in an interview and he famously told someone to stay in their lane. Flash forward about 45 minutes, I'm walking down the hallway of the hotel, and there's two people sitting at a Starbucks, just kind of coffee shop, and across from each other, and one guy kind of puts his hands up and leans back and he goes, "Whoa, I know my lane." And he said it in such a negative way that it kind of took me by surprise, just again walking by, but it was interesting that in about 45 minutes I had heard or seen or referenced something about staying in your lane. And I kept thinking about that. It kept eating at me a little bit, because I think there's times where staying in our lane is really good. It's really important, right? Staying in your lane keeps you safe. If you're driving down the road, it keeps you safe. It keeps you from, veering into other cars. It keeps you on a pretty straight path. But I think that sometimes in life that can be really dangerous. I think that sometimes we get so comfortable in our lane that we forget that life and growth and everything else happens outside of that lane. If you think about all of the great innovations in life, every innovation came because somebody got out of their lane. Every innovation, whether it's electricity or the iPhone or light bulbs or, smartphones or, I said light phone, iPhone, it's all of those things came because somebody got out of their lane. Somebody decided that there was a better way to do something that was outside of the norm of the lane that they'd been driving in. And I think that sometimes we forget that, and in our own lives, we get stuck so much down the same path that we've been going on that we forget that there is a great life and different things that can happen outside of the lane that we are going down. Personal growth, I believe, happens outside of your comfort zone. Too many people are sitting in their comfort zone. And as I think about my life, I used to be really comfortable. I used to sit back. It was a very comfortable life to go down the path that I'd been going down. But growth doesn't happen through comfort. Growth happens when we decide to take the next off-ramp of our life. Growth happens when we decide that taking that off-ramp is a path that we've never seen before, and it might be scary, and it might be a more treacherous or a more dangerous road, but at the same time, that road can lead to growth that we didn't even know was possible in our own minds. And so the thought process of staying in your own lane or staying true to something that maybe isn't working anymore is really dangerous. And this isn't a podcast about, doing something dangerous or frivolous or whatever, because there are boundaries. There are safe places and things that we need to create. And sometimes those lanes, those boundaries, those thoughts, those feelings, those actions are really important that we maintain those guardrails in our lives. But you have to ask yourself, are you missing out on growth? Are you missing out in the next step of your life because you're staying in your lane too much? Are you choosing to be stagnant because it's comfortable? Are you choosing to drive the speed limit down the road just because that's what's been told before, or that's how everybody else did it, or that's the way that you believe that it's supposed to be done, or that somebody's told you that it's supposed to be done? Or is it time to take the next off-ramp in your life? Is it time to jump even though it's scary? Is it time to leave behind the things that have been holding you back? Maybe is it time to try something new? And I believe that wherever you are right now, if you look back on your life, it wasn't straight. If you look back on your life, it was not a straight lane of staying in your lane. There were turns, there were twists, there were lane changes, there were off-ramps, there were exits, there were all sorts of things that have brought you to the place that you are and that have developed you into the person that you are today. And so that would mean that the path forward is not straight either. The path forward does take some exits. The path forward does take switching to the fast lane. The path forward does take you deciding that you are important enough to take a risk in certain areas of your life because you are capable enough to make those things come true. And so the thought process of, hey, I know my lane, I'm staying in my lane, is really scary to me because what's outside of your lane is possibly the best version of you. And so wherever you are today, I would just ask you to pay attention to the lane you're in. Know that there are times where it does make sense to stay in your lane. But if you are at a place where you are wanting growth, you are feeling hungry, you are feeling like you are meant for more, then maybe there's an off-ramp that you need to take, even though it's really, really scary. So wherever you're at today, maybe it's time to get out of your lane. I hope this helps you. If it did, share it. I always appreciate it when you share it, when y'all tag me on Instagram, and share this with other people. And if you could, and thank you to the people who have left a review before, but go to wherever you listen to this podcast, leave a rating, leave a review, so this episode can help other people as well. So I'll leave you the way I always leave you. Go find your 1 second of strength and be happy.